You think your dog's behavior is random, like they suddenly act strange for no reason, then go back to normal as if nothing happened. But what if I told you there is no such thing as random in a dog's world? Every stare, every sudden silence, every moment they follow you too closely or avoid you completely is part of system, a silent language, one you've been hearing for years without truly understanding it. And once you see it clearly, you'll never look at your dog the same way again. Because the truth is, your dog isn't unpredictable. You're just not reading the signals. Think about the last time your dog acted weird. Maybe they suddenly sat and stared at you for no reason. Maybe they refused food they usually love. Or maybe they started following you like a shadow, even to places they normally don't care about. Most people say they're just being strange today. But behavior in dogs is not mood-based randomness. It is response-based communication. Dogs live in a world of patterns, energy, and association. They don't think in words, they think in experiences. So when something changes, even something you don't notice, they react. And here's where it gets interesting. Your dog is constantly scanning you, not just looking at you, but reading you. Your posture, your movement speed, your voice tone, your breathing rhythm, even the emotional weight you carry into a room. You might think you're hiding stress, but your dog already knows. And when they detect even a small shift, their behavior starts to change. That's where the so-called randomness begins. For example, when a dog suddenly becomes extra clingy, most people assume it's love. And yes, sometimes it is affection, but often it's something deeper. Clinginess can be a response to uncertainty. When something in their environment feels unstable, your routine, your emotions, your attention, they increase proximity. They stay close because closeness equals safety in their instinctive mind. It's not emotional drama. It's survival logic. But here's the part most owners completely miss. The opposite behavior is just as important. When a dog suddenly becomes distant, less playful, less interactive, people often think they're ignoring me. But dogs don't ignore in a human emotional way. Withdrawal is often a self-regulation response. When they feel overwhelmed emotionally or environmentally, they reduce interaction. Not because they don't care, but because they're trying to reset their internal state. It's like emotional overload in silence. And if you miss this signal, you miss the conversation your dog is trying to have with you. Now here's a question you should really think about. Has your dog ever started acting strange at the same time, every day? Same hour, same pattern, same behavior shift? That is not coincidence. Dogs are built on internal clocks and environmental cues. They notice things like lighting changes, sound patterns, household routines, and even your micro-actions before events happen. You picking up keys, you changing clothes, you shifting your tone slightly before leaving. To you, these are small actions. To your dog, they are predictions of emotional events. So when behavior repeats at the same time, it's not randomness. It's anticipation. But let's go deeper, because this is where most people miss the real message. Sometimes your dog's behavior is not about the present at all. It's about memory. Dogs associate emotions with moments. A certain time of day, a specific room, a tone in your voice, all of it can be linked to past emotional experiences. So if your dog suddenly acts off in a familiar situation, it may not be random behavior. It may be emotional recall, a memory being triggered silently inside them. And now here's something even more subtle. Have you ever felt like your dog reacts to your emotions before you even express them? That's not imagination. Dogs are extremely sensitive to human emotional patterns. Not in a mystical way, but through consistent observation over time. They learn your baseline. So when your emotional state shifts, even slightly, they notice the deviation immediately. And they respond, sometimes by comforting you, sometimes by watching you closely, sometimes by becoming restless themselves, because your emotional state becomes their environmental state. And this is where the illusion of random behavior completely breaks. There is no randomness, only response. And every response is tied to something real, even if you haven't identified it yet. If this is starting to change how you see your dog, just wait. because there's something even deeper most owners never realize. And if you're still watching this, you're beginning to see the pattern your dog has been living in all along. If this video is making you understand your dog differently, take a second and hit like and subscribe, because what comes next explains the most misunderstood behavior of all. Now listen carefully. One of the biggest mistakes owners make is assuming behavior always means the same thing. But in dogs, context changes everything. A dog following you can mean love or anxiety. A dog staring can mean affection or monitoring. A dog refusing food can mean illness or emotional stress. The behavior alone is never the full message. It is the combination of timing, environment, and emotional context that reveals the truth. And that's why most people misunderstand their dogs, because they only see the action, not the system behind it. Now let's reach the emotional core of this truth. Your dog isn't random. Your dog isn't broken. And your dog isn't confused. They are constantly communicating in a language built on instinct, emotion, and connection. And every single behavior, no matter how small, is part of that language. So the next time your dog acts strange, don't rush to label it as random. Pause for a moment. Look at the environment. Look at yourself. Look at the patterns. Because your dog isn't just reacting to life. They are reacting to you. And the most important truth of all is this. Your dog isn't just living beside you. They are speaking to you